Hey, Paradox here for JuanSource.com, and I'm going to bring you today a strike commentary. We don't have as much content on strike as Inferno and Dust 2, so hopefully you'll get quite a bit out of this here. So this is going to be a match for ESEA League against Team Area 51 Gaming. So my team didn't really go into this match with strats set up or anything like that. It's more like a organized pug, I guess you could say. But anyway, I'm going to be calling some strats. Rambo's going to be calling some strats. Anyway, this round you see we're working lower B. The strat I called one of my favorite pistols on strike. And this is basically an explode strat we're going to do here. And we're waiting around the corner, getting everybody gathered up, and we're going right away. And you see what happens there is that the guy playing a very common spot up there in the just right above the stairs, spotting down, looking for that entry kill. Most of the time, I mean, that guy's going to be able to get one. I mean, if he's lucky, you can get two. But if you move around, make yourself hard to hit, and overwhelm that guy like we did. We had all 5 guys there and just kind of went, set up, and exploded. Didn't really delay. Didn't really allow the other team to get too much map control and too much idea of where we're going to be in the case they pushed. As long as you do that, you're going to be able to overwhelm that guy, especially on pistol round. With the USP, I mean, you only have 12 bullets, and if you don't make them count, I mean, that's exactly what's going to happen right there. So that team's going to overwhelm the bomb site like we did over at B, get the bomb down, and then from there you gain all the advantage because you have 3 or 4 guys alive defending, and you could kind of pick and shoot a little bit. You could it's a rather easy bomb site to defend. You have many angles you could go to. So ended up winning that pistol round, like I said, strategically. That's one of the best strats, the best fundamental strats that you can do. Most teams on this map are going to end up stacking the A bomb site. Pistol round and gun rounds, most teams play the same, you know, say 3 people at A and 1 middle. Most teams aren't going to play 2 dedicated B because A can be a little hard to hold here. So anyway, this round, pretty simple eco, and you see I thought I killed the guy there, and I kind of whiffed a little bit on him, but I thought I killed him because I saw my teammates, I saw the red kind of out of the corner of my eye come up on the board, and I looked away from him, and I didn't kill him. So just a little unlucky thing. Not much to be said about that eco. It's just holding upper push and letting my team work as a group. Okay, so I was just kind of being the role player there, as I usually was with these guys. So anyway, pretty simple eco round. As far as ecos go, I mean, I just had an article that I put out on the money system and all that, and in that you could see that on eco rounds I prefer for teams to stay together. Okay, not really send people solo, but you know, sometimes it's good to send one guy to maybe hold a push on the other side. So anyway, this round, being kind of upset from the last round, I'm just on the hunt. So, you know, pretty simple eco. Thing is, with the AK there, as with all eco rounds, you want to consider the fact that you're going to have the gun, they're going to have pistols, and you want to play range at that point. You want to keep the distance and give yourself maximum advantage that way by keeping as much a distance between yourself and the opponent. And that's, in that case, it's going to be okay to peek. You know, I'm not a big fan of hunting kills and ecos and all that and going after kills, but in the case that I did it right there, you know, so I was just keeping my distance, not letting those guys come up the ramp, and just fighting long range, hitting shots, and it paid off for me with a nice little ace. So here, this round, I'm going to be working this lower ramp. Our guy got picked early, and notice how I fall back right after my shot. That's really important. If you notice a rifle close, I kind of got lucky to get out of there. But if you notice that rifle playing close up, you're going to want to fall back and probably nade behind yourself, or pull your pistol out and be ready to shoot, because that what a lot of players will do if they're playing a really close range Colt and you come out with op, you miss a shot, or you're shooting at somebody else like I was, that guy is gonna be pretty inclined to chase you because you're out of position, you're with the op, you're close range, so that guy may try to come out and chase you. So here in middle, I'm gonna get caught here, trying to chase that other guy. Just really unlucky timing. Because I was posted on that connector peak for a while, and then the guy came out right when I moved. So I mean, what can you do? But anyway, so yeah, that gun round kind of falls apart. We got entry picked with op, and then I wasn't able to reply and work those picks over at the A site, and everything just kind of didn't go according to plan. So anyway, we were able to buy this round. Once again, we had a few bomb plants in the beginning, and some gun saves, AKs from the eco rounds that we had. Instead of buying MP5s and all that, we went with AKs, and so now I'm able to upgrade on the 5th round and still buy and continue to put the pressure on the CT team. And I talk a lot about this in the money article we just had released, is that the terrorists can really push the pace of the game with the way the money works. Just having lower priced guns and all that. So I mean, if you can AK up and make that work in the early rounds, instead of going MP5 and then having to upgrade and all that, you're going to be able to buy 2 rounds in a row. Even if the CT team, you see in this case, we had we won our pistol round, we won our 2 save rounds, and then we lost the first gun round. We were still able to buy the second gun round. And if you get 2, 3, maybe 4 kills on that first gun round, even if you lose it, it's putting a lot of pressure on the CT team, because you figure they bought out, they maybe have maybe no money left, maybe $800, $1,000 left, and they're getting a 3,250 bonus for winning the round, maybe 300 for kill or whatnot, depending on who got the kills there. They're going to be stuck at a pretty broken buy. They're going to have maybe 4,500, anywhere from 45 to 5,500. If there's an opera on that first round, that guy's just going to have 3,250. He's going to be pretty hurt on the money. So here, this round, you notice we go with the quick middle, and they didn't really spot that mid. I really think this strat can work a lot. It's kind of hard to control that middle area. And you notice we got the entry kill early on. They weren't really spotting mid directly. We were able to get a bomb plant. So once again, playing that money game, even if we lose this round, which we're going to end up losing, we get a lot of money, and we continue to kind of keep the pressure on the CTs, just money-wise, not really letting them get too comfortable, not letting them get too much of an advantage. I mean, we lose this round, we only deagles saved, so a couple of us still had Glocks, so we're going to be in a pretty decent money situation here. We should be able to comfortably buy. That's what we do. So we get this round, and maybe the next round we're going to force the CT team to save at that point, and that's really important. If you don't let your the CT team run away with money, you're going to force them to save. What happens if you let them get comfortable with money? What's going to end up happening is they're going to win they're going to lose rather 3 or 4 rounds in a row, and then they're going to have the money bonus anyway. That 500 bonus after each round, consecutive round lost. They're going to keep getting that money bonus that way, and they're going to be able to buy even after you beat them down a little bit and you get their money low. That bonus is going to allow them to buy anyway, so they're not really going to be inclined to save. So being able to keep that pressure on the money, even if you lose that first gun round, is really, really important. So this round, we're working middle again. That seemed to work. We were waiting for a peak and whatnot. 51, the CTs didn't play too aggressive on the middle. I got entry pick, but we were able to take over the middle, get into that little ladder room, and peek into the window room and get into connector and make entries that way, and kind of split on the A side. And that's the big thing about this map, is that you're going to want to use every point of entry. You have quite a few points of entry to the A bomb site anyway. B bomb site is kind of, you're not really going to utilize spawn too often, but the A bomb site, the reason most teams do play 3 players at that site is that if middle gets taken over, which isn't that hard to do as a T side, it's not really that hard to take control of it. if middle gets taken over, that connector is going to be open, and teams are going to be able to split 3 ways on the bomb site. So I mean, you figure 3-way split, they're going to need 3 people to cover that up. And that's why most teams tend to stick to that 3A. And if you, at the least, I mean, if you force some pressure on that connector, you're going to force the other team to play, I mean, at least 2 guys A, usually 3 guys A, or at least having that mid guy playing towards A and leaving middle a little open. So you're going to create a weakness in the defense. Usually where that weakness is going to be is at B. If you're able to pressure that connector and do splits on the A site, make them worry about that, you're going to have a much easier time taking the B bomb site, especially if you control middle and you can go 2 ways at the B bomb site, go from catwalk and from the basement at lower. That's just, you're gonna have to utilize your whole arsenal that way. You're gonna be able to utilize both bomb sites. Otherwise, if you don't really open that connector up and teams are playing 2 players at B, it's gonna be really tough to do anything, especially if they have a really good A hold. You're just going to have problems. So it all kind of starts out with weakening 1 point on the map and opening up that other point on the map for yourself, for your team. Okay, so going back into the game a little bit, you notice we take the A bomb site, and we've been doing a lot of middle control and stuff like that, just taking connector, putting a lot of pressure on connector and middle. And as the money, you see we strung a few rounds together here. We're putting a lot of pressure on the CT money. They're not able to buy ops like in the previous 16K format. You know, they're not able to buy ops constantly, and it's going to be a lot harder to hold that middle, especially here on strike. It's going to be really hard to hold that middle without an op, without a lot of control there. So anyway, this round we go with a pretty incorrect eco strat, I guess. I don't know if we didn't really pay attention to their money, but we had a split strat going, which isn't necessarily too bad, but it's not the best thing you could do on ecos. And I mean, you figure that if you send 5 people one way, and I talk about this a lot, if you send 5 people one way, maybe send 1 guy to scout, what most teams are going to end up doing is not full 5 stacking a site. Most teams are going to either play normal on CT ecos, or they're going to, you know, they may stack a site, maybe 3 or 4 people, and rush it. So I'm a big fan of just sending 5 people one way, and in worst case scenario, you figure that you're going to have 5 guns against 5 pistols, which is a winning battle for you anyway. So this round, point I want to make about that play that happened right there is that I let my opponent take control of the smoke. I tossed the smoke out. I was going to use it to kind of strafe in and out and see through it, but he took control of that smoke and he was able to fight me there. I did whiff. You should have hit, man. I told you did whiff a few shots. You know, it wasn't that great for him, but I kind of did take too much time in moving up, and I played a little too timid there. So just a little note to be made about that. If you use a smoke, or if your opponent even uses smoke like I did, a good idea may be to take control of that smoke, maybe you know, flash him off of it and then work into that smoke and give yourself the advantage that way. So anyway, just a little point I wanted to make. So this comes down to 1v1. I kind of want to make a little commentary here. Rambo decides to play completely passive and hope the guy doesn't find him, which is okay on this map, because you know most people are going to assume that they're at the basement stairs. It's a great place you could kind of peek and hide and whatnot. Depending on where the bomb's planted, you're going to be able to cover it from both sides. Guile, I guess, Saw's gun or something like that, or Gust Right, one of the two. But you know, it's a good idea by Rambo to play that way. It just got unlucky. So most maps, in most cases, I don't really recommend just playing completely passive in a 1v1, especially in a 1v2 and 1v3. What I see a lot of people doing is playing really passive and waiting for people to come to them. And I think that's a mistake. If you're, you know, playing a 1-on-2 or 1-on-3, you're going to have to try to force a fight, try to force a one-on-one situation where you're going to be able to fight one guy, maybe make a nice shot, you know, you're going to have to be the one to make the play. You're already in a bad situation, and you're going to have to make something out of it. So, I mean, the passive idea may work in a 1v1. You know, use it really selectively though. Don't start hiding away. That's not really what this game's about. So, anyway, this round, you notice we took control of the middle. All 5 guys. Again, I get killed planning. Really annoying. But you know, that's kind of the risky run. Interesting thing about this bomb site too, on Strike, the B bomb site, is that if you don't get an entry kill in this bomb site, if say you do a strat like we did and send 5 guys through middle to the catwalk, and you don't get an entry kill at the B site, it's almost guaranteed that the guy's going to be in the basement stairs waiting for a plant. Okay, or waiting to kind of ninja out, peek out like he did there, and take out the planter. So that's exactly what happened. We weren't really coordinated enough as a pug to defend that, and I think, you know, I must have called it, and I must have realized that, but still got killed planning. So I mean, that's what happens when you try to be a team player sometimes. But you know, whatever it takes to win. Anyway, so yeah, and just a little note about that B bomb site. If you don't get that entry, definitely want to keep an eye on that basement over there. This round, just a little careless on my part. Not, you know, maybe not too careless, but I figure, you know, they played a little tricky setup. They had one guy push and then one guy right behind, waiting for people to get careless like I did and run out. So so that caught me a little off guard. And you notice I've been getting caught with nades a bit at that upper, just getting caught in bad positions, getting caught with nades, and that's, in my book, that's the worst way to die, is having a nade out, because you have no chance to shoot back. You may as well, I mean, I figure you're spending $2,500 on your gun, or you know, 4,000, whatever. If you're getting an AWP 4750 or a Colt, you're spending $200 on a nade. I mean, if you're gonna use nades more than you use guns, I mean, save that money, man, because you're spending a lot. You know, it's not worth the risk trying to use that gun sometimes. You know, it's not worth the risk. If you may use that gun, you may not. That's a pretty big investment you're making. So, risk to reward. And the point I'm making really is just keep your gun out. Okay, that's a little revenge right there. That's a statement. That's a 1 bullet. Whenever you can do that,
just hold for a sec.
Highly recommend it, because it makes you feel damn good about yourself. Most people 2-shot burst. If you could do that and 1 shot across the map, you know something's going right for you. So anyway,
let's go back A.
We do gain the advantage this round. You know, getting back to talking about stuff that matters. We gain the advantage here, and we decided to go back to A because we didn't really dedicate on the B site, but we got a lot of entries and we made a big move to the B site. And it should have been, I mean, we noticed that they rotate through the spawn and whatnot. Should have been that the guy at A was rotated out already. I don't know if he was just waiting for us to go connector or what was going on there. But we figured that we've been hitting middle to the B site really quickly, taking that over, trying to get the plant down really fast. So not really sure what that guy was still doing at A. I mean, maybe he had a different idea or not quite sure what happened there, but it ended up working against us. We kind of got sandwiched, 3 people in one spot. That guy hit his shots across the map in a place we didn't really expect him to be, and ended up losing that round even though we had the advantage. So sometimes, I mean, a mistake or well, I'd call that a mistake, just sitting in the other bomb site when the team's going to B. You know, sometimes a mistake can reward you. You know, sometimes a mistake can pay off for you. So anyway, it's kind of what happened there. We had the right idea. Sometimes you have the right idea, and the other, you know, it just doesn't work out. So that's a good half. 9-6 T side. I'd say this is a rather CT-sided map. So anyway, as far as your overall T strategy goes, like I was saying, you definitely want to open up that A bomb site and use spawn, get up catwalk, use some smokes maybe on middle connector. Really, you want to put a lot of pressure on that middle. Don't let the guy at middle get comfortable peeking from the window, peeking from the connector. You really want to either use a lot of players there, put a big presence there, or use a lot of nade work. Use smokes, flashes. I mean, if you could just send 2, 3, 4 guys over there, or even your whole team like we were doing, and just completely wreck that guy and give him hell, then you're going to be really successful, because he's going to start playing timid, and he's going to start giving up connector, he's going to start giving up middle, and that's going to open up the map for you. So notice here I'm playing a little ninja, dodging nades. The thing about playing middle as CT on this map, if you spot anything like a catwalk rush, people running up the catwalk, you peek that window and you spot that catwalk rush, you want to do exactly what I did over there and fall back, because most teams, I mean, even on piss around, you saw it, piss around, teams may single nade, maybe even double nade sometimes. Even on pistol, they may try to nade that guy window, and that's going to be brutal. You're going to take a lot of damage from that grenade. So especially on gun rounds, that's important too. If you spot any sort of catwalk rush, definitely want to back off for a second, wait for those nades. So you saw I just kind of backed off and took a few shots, let my catwalk guy work. So here you notice me and Rambo in a 2v1, 4v1 that turned into 2v1. But we eventually got set up. Took a little while, but we got set up the best way you possibly could. You always want to figure out the best way to set up according to the situation. We noticed the bomb down. We knew the bomb down was down catwalk, and he had to come get it from there. So what we did, we had Rambo play all the way in the back with the USP. It's the best long-range pistol in the game, most accurate, and had him play in the back, and I was playing spot to cover his back in case the guy came spawn, but I was still able to swing out like I didn't help him out. So that's that. It's just, I mean, fundamental correct play in a 2v1. So you want to find a way to work together. Okay, cover both sides, but work together at the same time if it comes down to it. So this round, really nothing special to be said. Simple eco round, not much more to it. Clean wipe. I guess we could have done a little better. Big thing about ecos, if the other team's saving, you don't want to give up the plant, and that's kind of the goal of save rounds, is to get a plant as the T. Try to get a plant, and try to get that money. Try to get more control of that money, and that's what we allow the other team to do by allowing that plant. I don't think that should happen, especially at the A bomb site. Even though we're playing a 2-1-2, we're playing 2 players B instead of playing 3 players A. And you notice that nade thing I was talking about right there. Just 2 nades coming in that window right there, and if I was standing there, I was dead. I was a dead man. So backed off. Didn't really want to re-peek at that point. Once they have that many players in control of middle, especially with a rifle, I'm not gonna want to peek out and fight that, because I'm gonna be at a disadvantage no matter what. Okay, with that many guys, and the other team did end up buying that round. Okay, which is, I mean, I believe it to be a pretty fundamental play to buy as T on 3rd round, even if you don't get a plant. You're, like I wrote in that article, you're going to have at least $3,100. You're going to be able to get full armor, Galeals. Some guys are going to have 3,600. Maybe get AKs, AK full armor. Main thing is going to be that you get full armor. If you're going to buy as T on 3rd round, you're going to want full armor. Okay, and this right here is just a railgun to work, going to work, FAMAS, burst fire, and play the range. Not much more to it. Okay, so that's all it's going to be. But like I was saying, as a T, I think most of the time, I'd say even 95% of the time, you should buy as a T on 3rd round. That's my idea. I think it's just the fundamentally correct way to play. You figure some CTs, especially if you notice they're going MP5 on the 2nd round, a lot of MP5s and whatnot. MP5, maybe a TMP or stuff like that. Even if they have a FAMAS or maybe a Colt, you're still going to be at a big advantage. You're going to have a couple AKs, 1 shot to the head, as opposed to 2 with the Colt and whatnot. So you're going to be at the advantage no matter what. So this round, you see, I just kind of get overwhelmed at mid. I hit that first shot, I ended up lagging the guy, and then I had 2 or 3 guys to fight, nowhere to really retreat to. So I got beat that way over at that middle. And you notice that middle control is going to put a lot of pressure on both bomb sites, at A and at B. B is going to have to worry more about the catwalk. A is going to have to worry about connectors. So opening up that middle is going to be huge. And you know, just having a lot of manpower is gonna do it to you. So maybe something better I could have done about that is waited for my smoke to come up. But even then, it's hard either way, because you can get beat there. Even if you rush there, you could get beat to the window. The guy may be posted up on you. But at the same time, if you even if you get there first, you may have 2 or 3 guys jumping out at the same time, and it's gonna be a really hard fight for you either way. So anyway, we end up winning the round. We readjust. They decided to go lower B and kind of split around. Thing is, too, a mistake that I think they made is that they had 1 guy at the A site, 1 guy middle, 2 guys stairs. They continued to be split up, and they got into a 4-on-3 advantage by killing War Machine, who was playing the catwalk, and then they continued to do a split strat. Now, I think that's the incorrect play, because if you have the advantage as T, really what you want to do is pressure all 4 guys into 1 guy, okay? Because you figure the team's still gonna have to say spread to cover both bomb sites, but now they have less people to cover both bomb sites. So I mean, you have 3 people to cover 2 bomb sites instead of having all 5. You're usually going to be stuck in a situation where a guy's playing solo, like Rambo was over at B, and instead of sending 2 guys there, and those 2 guys, Rambo made a good play and killed both of them, if you send 4 of them there, then even if he kills 2, you may be able to get the trade, getting into a 2-on-2 with the bomb planted, much better chance of winning the round. So this round is just taking over mid with the op, and game ends pretty suddenly, because that's how the ESA demo works. But note about that last round, just in that middle, you have to be able to get through that little window as quick as possible. I wasn't really doing it that well, but there's a way to kind of jump right through it and get to that mid really quick. As long as you can get there and post up on that first guy and make that shot on him, even if he jumps across, you're going to be at a big advantage. You get that first guy, and then even if the second and third come out, you're going to have a lot easier time. And that's what happened there. I was able to get the first shot, second shot. It was just all about shot hitting at the end. So that middle's hard to control no matter what, but if you can op, if you could be a little crafty, use that connector, and also just hit your shots out of that window and fight man to man, fight gun to gun, and man up, then you're going to do your team a lot of good. Sometimes you may even want to play 2 players on that middle. We were playing a guy from catwalk, sometimes a guy from connector, and that was a big deal there. Last thing I want to say about the CT side is that if you're playing 2A like we did there, and it seemed like a pretty good setup playing 2 players at B, playing 1 catwalk as opposed to giving up catwalk to B, you're going to have that middle player rotating over to the A bomb site pretty quickly. If there's really any sort of A action, that guy's going to have to rotate over, and then the B catwalk player takes over as a primary middle player in that case. So yeah, besides that, just a couple different ideas on CT side what you can do. Either stick with the standard 3A, 1 mid, 1 B, or the 2-1-2, which really works for us in that match especially. We were able to control middle really well, kind of from all directions, and then we were able to control both A and B bomb sites. So can't ask for much more than that. We played a pretty flawless CT half. So I hope you guys got a few ideas out of this. If you have any questions, any comments, definitely post them. Let us know of any commentaries you want to see in the future, any map, any specific match, whatever you guys want to see. And I should be playing more, so Let me know if you have any specific requests for me too. I'll try to get those out for you guys. Alright, so that's all for me today. Hope you guys got a lot out of this first strike, and happy gaming.